Hello, everyone. Welcome to Live Out Loud Wednesday. Tonight's topic is real love. Um,
Real love. So
Defining real love, like not in a relationship with your
yeah,
significant other, but real love.
real love with anyone. So I know sometimes people hear real love and you think relationships. Um, Real love can be anyone, a family member, a friend, your significant other. So we just wanted this to be about real love. What does real love mean to you? um, because I think sometimes that fine line kind of gets crossed a little bit. What is real love? So we had a couple of things we were going to go over, and um, I guess Davina, what does real love mean to you? When you
Hmm.
first hear that, what comes to mind?
Uh, Ooh. If I'm thinking about like how I would love an individual, mm, my real love is genuine, caring, nurturing, and unconditional, like wholeheartedly coming from a place and a space that comes solely from my heart. Um, have I experienced real love before? I have. I can say I have been in actual love um, with people multiple different times.
I think when I hear real love, I think of just something that has no strings attached.
Mhm.
Whether it's good, whether it's bad. Not saying you necessarily love someone for their bad, but I mean, everyone comes with good and bad. So, whether that be a friend or relationship, you are loving that person eternally, like you said. Um, Real love to me is the love that my kids give me. When I look at my baby and he's just looking up at me, that's real love to me. That is him letting me know, he can't talk yet. The only thing he's doing is laughing and smiling and but I know that's true real love.
A
Um,
place and a space that you don't have like any control over. It's like not something that you intended or are intentionally trying to give, but it's just kind of there.
yes, exactly. Like he's letting me know all the time, like I'm his safe place. That's
Hmm.
real love to me. And I think even when you have a partner, and you can just be yourself, um, you don't feel ashamed. You don't feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this out of the fact that this person might not like me anymore because they've seen this side of me. That's real love to me. Um, you being able to be authentic, because all of us are flawed. So, in those moments, when you are really being you, are you being loved?
Right.
I love that. I love to feel love, real love from my friends, from my, partner and from my family. Real love to me is just that unfiltered pureness.
And then when you look back at that, though, how many times have you actually been able to enter into another person's space and actually be 100% you without being judged and or looked down on?
When we first met, that was
Well,
real, that was real love.
that was real love.
Yeah, because I we both met each other in a broken place. There was no ulterior motive. We both were in a place where we could have shut everyone out, but we didn't. And it was
Hmm.
like that the best friendship was grown out of that. I feel like that's true real love. And those are those
Absolutely.
spaces that you enter where you're like, I'm not trying to meet a friend, but I meet a friend that I have for a lifetime that ends up being family.
But then it comes into, I think, like it it can always alter and it can always change. And so, like, when you meet a person, I feel like it's puppy love. So, in the place that we met, it was our puppy love stage. I think our real love stage entered when we both ended up moving out into our own spaces. And then the test of, the universe started to test us. Like, okay, these are hard times. Like, I feel like, yes, you and I have real love. Like, I have so much love for you. It's like, if I don't say certain things to her or tell her certain things, how am I really a friend? And what does that look like? If I was in this position, I would want somebody to be 100% like, no matter how much it hurts or wherever it brings us, I have to say these things because it's coming from my heart. It's not coming from, Devin, I want you to change, or I want you to do this because I'm benefiting from it, or because it's going to make me look good or feel good. It was, if I am moving in this way and I consider you my friend, these are the things that I need you to do in your life so that I feel like we're still on the same journey. And because I, as a person, want to see you grow just as much as I feel like I'm growing. And I can't demand that from you if I'm not willing to do it myself. And so it was like, it's time, and the universe was testing, like, okay, it's time to lead by example. And that's, I think, is when it turned into real love. Like, we had our spat and came back around like, hey, this is that. Like, it wasn't coming from an ill mannered place. You might not have liked it. It might have been harsh. It might have been rough, but
It was needed.
it was needed. And
Yeah.
I think that when we enter into a lot of spaces, sometimes it's difficult for people to be able to say the harsh reality of life. Like, if I see you out here acting a certain way, or you see me out here acting a certain way, no matter what,
Hmm.
like, jump and tell me, like, hey, girl, that ain't a good look,
Yeah.
and take that risk. And a lot of people think, like, okay, I don't want to take that risk because we might not be friends, or this might go into a place where we're going to, fall off and maybe even get into a fight. And it's like, nope, because if we both care for each other in the manner that we're supposed to,
Hmm.
then it shouldn't be that.
And that's one thing I think about a lot when I see people who are having interactions with their so-called friends. Um, and it's like, if this is really your friend, why would you not speak up
Hmm.
and say something? Whether it be you see someone is on a toxic path, which I know people are going to make their own decisions. You know, sometimes you can say something to someone, goes in one ear, out the other. But if you're a real friend, you would still say something. You know, they'll act on their, whatever they want to do whenever they want to do it. But as a true friend that loves another person, you do have to speak up and say, like, hey, girl, I seen you've been doing this lately. I don't think it's a good look for you. It's not healthy. Maybe you should try doing something else, try not doing that, whatever the case may be. And that's out of love. It's not out of
Hmm.
jealousy or hate. And I think that's what a lot of people end up saying, like, oh, she's just hating on me. And it's like, no, she's not hating on you. She actually loves you and cares about your health.
Because it took a lot to say that.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's hard to see someone going through stuff like that.
And whether you want to take that advice or respect that person's opinion on that,
Mhm.
it's still like, those are trying times of the universe. And so if I love you and you love me, it doesn't mean, like, just because you had an opinion on what it is I'm doing, or, you know a look, doesn't mean that I have to make any alterations and or changes. It
Right.
just means that it took a lot for you to be able to come to that comfortable space to be able to have that conversation with me. And I need to be able to do the same, be in that comfortable space to tell you, hey, I like where I'm at.
Hmm.
You might not like it, but I like where I'm at right now. And so I respect your opinion, um, to the point that it's just your opinion.
Yeah. Veronica, when you hear the saying real
Real
love,
love.
what do you think
She's froze.
of? Oh no, she is. Well, when she comes back, we'll ask her again. Um, let's see.
What about with a significant other? Where
Have
do
I
you
ever
think
experienced it?
yeah.
Um, it's kind of a tough question because it's like when you're in a situation, you feel like, oh, this is real, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the second you step out of it is when you self reflect and you're like, was this even really real? Um, so I don't want to say
So,
no and I don't want to say yes.
so let's
I'm,
talk about that.
yeah, and the reason why I say that is because I've had a lot of influential experiences with people. That's what I'll say.
But love is love.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say necessarily bad, and I'm not going to say good. The reason why I say I've had a lot of influential experiences is because I know people have loved me,
Mm-hmm.
but have they loved me at the capacity that I needed? Was the real question, which a lot of times was no. So does it mean that they did not love me? No. But did they love me to what I needed? No. That's why, I'm no longer with those people. So have I ever personally experienced real love? I think I have, um, several times in different versions, if that makes sense, because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like everybody brings different things to your life. So, my children love me a certain kind of way. My mother loves me a certain kind of way. Relationships I've been in with friends, I've gotten, love from them in certain capacities of my life. Do they still love me the same way? Maybe not, but I have experienced it. So it's kind of like a multi answer because I feel like I have, but am I still receiving it from certain people? I would say no.
So let me ask you this then. A person that once said that they loved you,
Hmm.
and now you're no longer with that person. Do you think if you were to walk across that person's path now, do you think that they would have ill mannered things to say about you, or do you think that they would be like, I dig her? Like, just because we're not together, like, how we grow. And
Yeah.
so when I look back in my history of my partners,
Hmm.
I've loved all of them in a manner.
Hmm.
Not have I been in love with all of them, but I've loved them all in a manner.
Yeah.
And I think that if I was to run across any of them, because my intentions were all pure, I didn't have any ill manner during that time, we might not have separated on a good term. But I think now that we're grown, I think if I was to run across any one of them, they wouldn't have anything bad to say.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like people are still hurt from my past, hurt because I'm no longer in their life. So I would say not necessarily everybody would have the greatest things to say, only because of that hurt that I'm no longer around, if that
But
makes
do you
sense.
think do you think that the hurt would really cause for somebody to have something bad to say? Like,
Hmm.
if you were no longer in my life, I would be hurt that you were no longer in my life. But I'm grown enough to be able to say, you know what? I think she's a ill person, and
Everybody's not grown.
I'm upset that she's no longer a part of my life. And so
Everybody not grown.
I would be able to omit my pettiness, like,
Everybody not grown.
F her because she ain't effing with me, you
Uh,
know?
Everybody not grown. Hey B, you're not frozen now.
I see I was having some issues as usual.
Now you the
Um,
one with the internet issues.
no, I was just listening, trying to hear, trying to hear what I could hear. Was
Well,
there a question, or were we
right
just
now you
talking
sound like
about
you
it?
in a box.
You sound like you in a fishbowl.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Oh, can you hear me now?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Can you hear
better.
me now?
that's good.
Better.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Okay.
I need one of those.
Um. So, is there a question?
Yeah. What is your thoughts on real love? Have you ever experienced it with
Okay.
anyone?
Um. My thoughts on real love. And have I ever experienced it with anyone? Um, I don't know. I don't think that I have. I think real love is unconditional. I think that there aren't any conditions to my love for someone, right? Even if I don't deal with you in the same way that I used to deal with you, I still love you though. Like ain't no love lost. I just changed the way that I deal with you, right? And
Hmm.
for me, besides like no, I've never experienced it. People mess with me conditionally. They love you when it's convenient for them or beneficial for them, or if it seemed like I'm loving them, then they love me too, right? But the moment that I don't do something that benefits them or something that they feel shows them love, then that love is terminated. So that's not love. Um, Love is unconditional. Like you could be mad at me, but if you see I need something, you still got my back. That's what love is to me. Um, I think that just love, you know how like the Bible says love never fails, it doesn't. Because as long as you love, love is always there. You may not like somebody, you may not want to be with somebody, you may not even want to be bothered with this person, right? But you could still have love for them. Um, and that's kind of like how I just see things. Like no matter what, if I say that I love you, I will always love you. That don't mean I'll always deal with you. That don't mean you'll always have access to me. That don't mean that we'll rock like how we used to. You have to be wise too about who you allow access to you. And people will try to use love to gain access. Oh, well, you say that you love me, so then that dictate how I have to deal with you. That's not true. That's not true at all. So I can honestly say I'm 41 years old and no, I don't believe that I've ever experienced genuine, true, real love. It always stops when I'm just no longer beneficial for that person, or if that person feel that I'm not showing them the type of love that they want. I think I'm just now starting to come around healthier people. So I'm starting to learn it, like being around y'all and being a part of Women Empowered. It helps me to see what that looks like. But loving people isn't really hard. Um, I think it's just the expectation when you want people to love you back, because your own person is always going to be genuine and authentic to you, right? And so you're going to show up how you show up regardless, because that's who you are. But when that's not reciprocated, that's when it becomes a thing, because then like your feelings are hurt. But if you really love them, it doesn't matter. You're going to still be you. You're still going to operate the same, but you may change how you give people access to you. So that's, I mean, I have some principles that I kind of live by, because it's true. Like when I thought about it, like love isn't self-seeking. Love ain't about me. Love is about what I can do for you. How can I help you? How can I see you grow? How can I make your life better? That's real love, right? Love isn't about Veronica. Love doesn't keep any record of wrongdoings. Even if someone does do me wrong, yes, noted. Now I just know how to deal with you. But it's not going to be something that I drag on and on and on, right? Because I don't want nobody to do that to me, right? So it is just a lot of things like when it comes to love. It's not hard to love people if it's true love, because it's gonna come naturally. But if it's forced or it's fake, or you're trying to act like you feel a way when you really don't feel that way, then it's not real. So that's kind of how I see love.
I love that. No, I love that, and I can resonate with a lot of what you said, because, like you said, some people's love for me is based on, what I am able to provide for them, and I've noticed that, and that's why, like you said, I just, okay, mental note, I know how to treat you now, not necessarily cut you off, but maybe the things that I do for you and the love that I am giving is not going to be the same way, after I know that it's, self-seeking love that you're requesting from me, if that makes sense. Like, it's happened a lot. I mean, you can go into, whether friendship, relationship, and your open arms, willing to do any and everything for this person to make them happy, and you see, oh, now the time that I'm not able to do something, you don't love me as much, or you start treating me badly, and it's like, okay, so you only love me based on what I can do for you. Like that's not unconditional love. It's based on conditions, and if those conditions are not able to be given to you, you're looking at me sideways, like, oh, Devin, do you really love me? And it's like, I still love you. I just can't do X, Y, and Z at the moment, but I still love you. And some people don't, yeah, they don't receive that the right way. And it's crazy, but that's how you learn who your real people are. Um, Whether it be family members, friends, whoever it is. But I mean, we're constantly learning the people that we need to have closer to us, or the ones that we need to push to the side a little bit. And people kind of get upset when they get pushed to the side, but it's like, look what you just did to me. You just showed me how you really feel about me, and now you're confused on why I'm treating you the way you treat me. Like, that's what's funny to me. Anytime people, don't understand why I'm treating them a certain way. Someone commented and said, "Where's Ebony? Ebony is not here today. She will be on the next podcast. She had something she had to do with her family, so she will not be on tonight's podcast. Um, Sorry about that. But if you are here, we appreciate you coming and tuning in. Hello to everyone who is watching. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Nikina. If I'm saying your name wrong, I do apologize.
Hey,
Hello,
Jennifer.
hello, everyone who is watching. We appreciate you watching the live. If you are watching and you think of what real love means to you, give us a comment. Share your feelings in the comments so we can see what you think real love is. Or when you hear that real love, what's the first thing that
Hey,
comes to mind?
have y'all ever like love someone, right? Whether it be a family member, a significant other, a kid, whoever, right? And it hurts you that you got to stop loving on that person the way that you used to love on them.
Absolutely.
And then they get mad at you because you have to do this to protect yourself because they give no care about you, right?
Yeah.
Ain't that the most awkwardest thing? When it hurts you to stop loving on somebody, not loving them, but loving on them, because you still love them. You can't
Yeah.
turn love on and off.
I feel that.
But I can't display this type of love to somebody else because I don't love them the way I used to love them.
You freezing.
You're freezing up.
Yep. But I think we get the idea of what you're saying is that you have to do it for you. You have to stop loving them the way you were loving them because it's not benefiting you. Yes, I hate that. And hate is a strong word, but I truly do hate it because I feel like it makes me feel like I'm a bad person because I'm trying to protect myself. And I've had to do it often. It never feels good. It doesn't. And I don't want to say too much because I don't want anybody to feel like I'm talking specifically about them. But I have people who I still love to the death of me. But for me and my personal sanity, my personal health, mental health, I had to not love on them as much. And that might even be me just not being present in their life for certain things or time frames for me. Um, is that something I need to work on too? Yes, because I know I need to be available for certain people as well as, people being available for me. But I think for my own personal mental well-being, I had to choose me. And, I feel like I've always choose the other person. I've never chosen my own self. And that I feel like that's the real love is us loving ourselves, us choosing us before anybody else. As mothers, it's hard for us to choose ourselves first because we've always, did for someone else. But it's needed.
Well, because we're brought up with the notion that love is supposed to be something that's given to us, or that somebody is supposed to do unto us. Um, Now that I am 45 years old, I am starting to look at life a little bit different. Um, Love is a choice. It is something that I choose to do. Um, and it's not something that somebody can make me do. But I also now get and understand that the way that I would like to be loved and want to be loved from someone else also is um, a choice that I also make.
Hmm.
How I present in your life and act and show up in your life and do unto you dictates on how it is that you handle and do it back onto me. The boundaries that I create with you also guides you on what it is that I also need back from you. Not everybody is going to fall into those categories and those lines to be able to give me what it is that I want, but I think that the mission is not for me to be so focused on what it is that I want for everybody else to do for me or to do onto me, but for me to be able to just go ahead and love on everybody,
Hmm.
um, and lead that by example. I do think that people are in each other's lives for reasons, and I believe everything happens for a reason. And so I constantly am thinking about like, so what is the reason? So what is the reason? Um, and like you guys said, it does hurt to have to walk away from someone. Um, but I'm starting to learn that doesn't hurt as much to walk away from someone when I know that there's time frames to certain people and how long that you are supposed to be loving them. Um, there's an expiration date
Hmm.
on a lot of that. And so I could be loving on you today and tomorrow my time can be up with you. And doesn't mean that I no longer love you and care for you. It just means that you have a different space or place in my heart. Um, and yes, now I have to position you a little bit differently because somebody else might need more of my love, more of my time, and more of what I have to offer. So
I
far
got.
as my significant other, um, I think that it's a little bit different only because that's my significant other, like my children. Like my children give me the ultimate beatdown all the time. I'm going to unconditionally love them regardless. Those boundaries are a little bit harder to put out there because it hits a little bit different, especially coming from a single parent.
Yeah.
Um, so when those boundaries are crossed as a single parent, I start to think like, is it them or is it me? Like,
It's
where did
them.
the mistake fall? You know?
It's them.
No, I know that from the bottom of my heart, I really do. But it's still like mentally, it leads me to believe like you did something wrong.
Oh
Like
yeah.
somewhere wrong the lines, like you installed that or you did that, and so
Yeah.
I'm, you created that monster. You got to live with that monster. Like so, my kids are a whole different ballpark. Um,
I have a
I'm,
question, so I don't forget this about when you were talking about when an expiration date comes, right?
mm-hmm,
With a relationship. So, if this is someone watching and they don't know that a season is up with someone,
mm-hmm.
what is something that they would be able to kind of recognize to say, okay, maybe this season is up with this individual. Maybe I need to reallocate them in my life or cut them out of my life completely. Like, how would they know, that the season is up? Is it something that happens specifically? Is it a feeling?
A little bit of both. I think that when the season is up, I think that there's a lot of things that it's like being in a relationship and you start getting the red flags, and it goes with anyone. As soon as things start moving different or start making you feel a type of way, and you feel like, one, you can't communicate.
Mm-hmm.
This person is boxing me into where now I can no longer even properly love on you
Mm-hmm.
because you've boxed me in so much or blocked me from all of that in a manner to where now I'm constantly thinking about what it is that I'm receiving back from you.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm taking tallies of what I did for you versus what you're doing for me.
Yeah.
There needs to be a conversation had, and if that conversation goes nowhere, then you guys are on two separate levels, and either you care for that person more than that person cares for you, or that person cares for you more than you care for that person. Whatever way it is, the expiration date is up. If I come to you and I say, Devin, my feelings are hurt because I haven't been able to get through to you. I've been calling you and I've been needing you. I've really been needing to lean on you. And you can't step up and tell me, like, either, girl, I've been too busy and I got
Mm-hmm.
things going on in my life, or I will do better and try to work on that.
Mm-hmm.
If there's no compromise, then our season is up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to be able to give me back what it is that I'm giving.
Yeah.
And it might not be in the same capacity. I might be giving you 100%, you might be giving me 50, but if I can't even get the 50 from you and there's nothing coming back from you, then why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Then
I
I'm gonna
think
have to put you in the back. I'm
I
gonna have
think
to
of it as like a boat, and we both was rowing at the same time,
mhm.
and now all of a sudden I look over and you ain't rowed, you ain't been rowing,
And you're
and
not trying to explain it.
I'm just sitting here like, no wonder why we're going in a circle because I've been rowing this boat by myself. Yeah, and you have no reason to explain it. You just sitting there like, well,
So there needs to be some clarity there. If I look over and be like, "Hey, girl, what you doing?" Like, I you've been slacking. You ain't rowing, and you'd be like, "Just don't feel like it."
right?
That ain't clarity. I need to know what's going on. Is your arms tired? Are you tired? Like, are you about to jump back in here and do this in a minute? Like, I need some clarity. And if you don't feel like I'm worthy enough for you to give me clarity,
Mm-hmm.
we can't do this.
Yeah, yeah. And I think a lot of people don't even realize that it is literally that bold of an action of someone, like whether it be a friend, a family member, or a relationship. You
Hmm.
will know when someone stops rowing that boat to help you and you feel like all the pressure is on you. You feel like
And,
you're the only one loving them and they're not loving you.
and I wouldn't say just jump off of the boat and be like, you know what, screw it, or throw that person overboard. Try to have that communication,
Yeah.
because anything in that time can be going on. That person might be slacking in that area because they're giving energy and time somewhere else and
Mm-hmm.
just can't invest in it right now.
Yep.
And but if you ask me and I can't give you any clarification on it, or I don't feel like I need to elaborate on what it is that you're asking me, then it's because I don't feel like you deserve that.
Mm.
And so if I feel like you don't deserve that, then what do I deserve back from you?
Yeah.
What
The
if
Again.
expectations is wrong.
what if they just can't? Like what if it's not that they don't want to, they just don't have the capacity to. You know what I mean? Like I mean if someone was doing it and then they stopped, that's one thing because you know that they know, right? But
Hmm.
what if it's a matter of you loving someone, whomever it may be, like a child, for example. If anybody has teenage kids, I know y'all can resonate with this, right? You
Hmm.
love them, you do the best that you can for them, but they're not appreciative. The love is not reciprocated, right? What do you do? Because there's adults that's like that too, not just kids. But what do you do? Do you stop loving them? Do you change the way you love them? Or do you continue to be an example and display that love to them in hopes that they will one day understand that, you know, if you love someone, this is how you treat them, right? Because love is not about words at all. It's all about actions. It's about what you do and how you do it. So, I mean, when we talk about real love, because as a parent, I've been fed up. Like, I'm not doing it no more. I'm not giving them nothing. I'm not doing nothing for them. Like, but I still do it because I really do love them, right? I cannot not do it. But does it make it any less of a real love if you decide not to do it simply because they cannot meet you where you expect them to meet you at? And maybe they really do love you, but they just don't know how to meet you there.
I feel like
Right. You know what I
in
mean?
I feel like in that though, yes, love is an action, but part of communication also is an action. If I am stuck and feel like you now have boxed me in and you're my mom and I just don't know what it is that you're asking from me. Part of your actions is communicating with me and allowing me to be in a safe space to know that you are requiring something from me and what it is that you are requiring, and giving me that safe space to also tell you that I'm confused or I just don't know. Or even as your friend, like we're talking about being in this boat and we're rowing and you just give up, and you give up because you just don't have it in you no more. Part of that, as me loving you as my friend, is to look over and say, hey, Veronica, like, girl, what's going on? And for you to be able to properly communicate back. If you just shrug your shoulders like nothing and you don't feel like you can't tell me, like, I just don't have it in me right now. I don't know if I'll ever get it back, but not removing my choice. You just don't rob me of my choice to continue to roll for the both of us. Love me enough to be able to give me my choice. Girl, I ain't got it right now. I don't know when I'm going to get it back, but right now I just don't have any motivation to roll. Then at least I have a choice to say, girl, I got us. I'll hold it down until hopefully you get that motivation back. And that's me showing you love. But at least that we had the action to be able to have the conversation for me to know where we're at. But if you just shrugged your shoulders and said, I don't know, like, screw it, the mind can bring you anywhere. And the mind can be a very ugly place. I can be thinking, she just don't care. She never cared. Because if she don't care today, then that means she never cared. And she just wants to see me do this work. It could bring me all different places, and my mental then can start to decline, and you can be sucking me down into a rabbit hole that I don't need to be in. And so now at this point, I need to save myself, because now I need to love me more than I love you, because you was refusing to communicate with me.
Well, I think she said if it's somebody who's never been able to love you. So
Right.
that's one of those situations where it's like, okay, I pick somebody up in my boat and I know for a fact they cannot row. They
Mm-hmm.
told me they don't know how to row, but I'm still sticking myself out to say, come on, girl, I got you. Get in. I'll row for the both of us. At a certain point, yes, you still want to love that person. You still want to do everything because you want to let them know this is what real love looks like. Eventually, you do have to make that decision. If it doesn't change their actions later on, okay, you need to ask yourself, am I giving too much of me? It's some point where you have to say, okay, this person maybe has never been able to love me. Am I
Mm-hmm.
ever going to be okay with this? You do have to ask yourself, if this is like this forever, will I be okay with this? Does that mean you stop loving them? No, but maybe you just don't do the same things you did, from the beginning, and maybe you just have to, kind of wean yourself off of that person. But I mean, I've been in situations like that where it's like maybe this individual does not know how to actually love, and you are the one who is taking the driver's seat. You're always the one who is initiating it. It can be draining. So you have
It
to,
can be.
yeah, you have
But,
to ask yourself.
but you have to understand, like, if I'm a person and I'm saying that I don't have these tools, I just can't do it. There's no such thing as I just can't do it. I might not know how and may be willing to gain these tools to be able to one day be. But if I'm saying I just don't have these tools and I'm just not with even trying to learn them, then I'm not down to begin with. So it it still is a communication. If I come to you and I tell you, Veronica, I can't do it because I don't have the tools to do it. And it's just not in me. That's me telling you from the beginning that I have no intentions on even trying. And so you have a choice at that time.
And I agree. I agree with what y'all both saying. The thing that sticks out to me though is thinking about women in power, for example, is that sometimes, as I don't believe that they don't have an intent. I just really think that they just don't know. I'm one of them. I'm one of they.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't shown what real love, like y'all just asked me that. I've never seen it. And I've done the best that I know how to show what love looks like to me. But if you're someone who's used to a healthy, communicative type of love, what I'm giving ain't going to be enough. And even if you communicated to me that I need to do more to show you that I love you, but my understanding of love is what I've been showing you, I'm going to miss the mark every time. So this is just me and the way that I see things. And maybe I overdo it. Me and you was talking about boundaries. And I
Mm-hmm.
think a part of love is not only setting boundaries, but showing people how to set those boundaries as well. So even if I'm showing someone how to love unconditionally and to have that love that I'm not going to give up on you because I know how you feel, because I never loved anybody before either. So I'm going to stick this out with you. But then, as to your point, like Miss Devon said, I have to at some point set a boundary. Now, I've rode this boat with you. I've rode it. I've showed you. I've displayed this love to you. And now it is starting to your point, Davina, drain me.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point now, sister, I done took your hand and I done walked this walk with you. It's time for you to start to sustain me as well. And I think as a leader, and you know that someone that's displaying this is healthy to show the person on the end of receiving. So as they start loving people
You
healthy
have to love
now,
you.
they exactly they even know, hey, I want to love people because I didn't know how to do that before. That feels good, but I also gotta love me too because I can't overly do it. So that was great what both of y'all said, and it was like, man, some people just don't know. Like in my line of work, you wouldn't imagine how many 40 plus women don't even know how to have a conversation. You ask them the wrong question, they think you're starting an argument. So
Mm-hmm.
imagine coming to someone saying, hey, I love you, and when you do this, you make me feel confrontational. It's an argument. And it's not that they want to be that way. We're creatures of habits. Imagine trying to change
We are.
us years of habits and reverse it. But that's what Women Empowered does. But that
Yes.
was really good. I just think that was really good to bring up to people because I think when we love people, because you can love someone without them loving you. I know I have.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
right? And then when you realize, like, oh shoot, I am like head over heels, and this person even has a crush on me. Okay,
Man, I swear I didn't call you, but I had a conversation because I ran into Eb and I called Devin and I said there was a guy in my life that I was gonna be a child at this time and I was gonna blame him and I said I think he broke my heart and then I had to reverse it and I said let me be grown and tell the truth. I broke my own heart
Mm-hmm.
yes,
and he didn't break my heart. I broke my own heart because I wanted something and was not properly listening to what it was that was said from the beginning. And we have to listen.
mm-hmm.
We have to not only listen to ourselves and our inner person, but we need to listen to the universe and we need to listen to the person that we're speaking to. And so, and then we have to put all of that together and make choices from that. Because if that person is saying from the beginning, I just cannot do this.
This ain't that.
This is not that.
Just it.
You better listen.
You need to listen. And so, and two, it's hard to listen to that. So
Yeah.
Because you just want to
I
love.
well,
Now.
I was like head over
I just
heels.
want to love you.
See, I'm gonna say it on here. I was head over heels, and I was like desperately, dangerously in love. Um,
Been there.
follow
I've been
you
there.
into a desert, knowing there is no water, and that is what I explained. I would follow you into the desert, knowing that there is no water. That is to the capacity that I love this individual, and I'm going to still say to the capacity that I love this individual. Um, but he said from the beginning, I wouldn't be a good boyfriend for you.
Mhm.
Not that I don't feel like I'm a good boyfriend material, but I can work on it. Just I wouldn't be a good boyfriend. So
Yep.
that was I didn't hear you properly when you said that the first 5 times, sir.
Yeah.
The sixth time is when I understood what you're saying to me. Like you're saying, like you're not even willing to try.
Mm-hmm.
There,
Yeah.
there's
It
no
hits you in the
intention.
face.
Yep.
Oh,
There's,
I got it. I got it.
there's no intention. You have no intentions on ever trying.
Yeah.
Not that I'm a piece of crap and I don't think that I'd be good for you. But if things were ever to, prosper in that area, I could work on it. That wasn't the conversation. And so that was the conversation that I wanted. And so that's what I heard when I heard you say, I would never be a good boyfriend for you. You basically were cutting the line right then and there. But
And you
because
made
I
your own.
wanted
Yeah.
you to love me in the manner that I'm loving
Yep.
you,
Yep.
I
Made your
wasn't
own
listening
reality.
to what you
Yeah.
said.
I want to say this so I don't forget it. One thing I noticed, especially dealing with a lot of ladies now that we're women empowered, and even over the 39 years I've been dealing with other people, some people are raised on love, and some people are raised on survival.
Yes.
And when you encounter the two, because I will say I was raised on love. So when I've came in contact with people who maybe were raised on survival, things that they do does not make sense to me, because it's like, I know for a fact I would never do this to another person,
Yep.
but it's being done to me because they don't even look at it as they're doing something wrong, because they're thinking of survival. They're not thinking of what would I not do to someone I love, if that makes sense. Like, because I love people. I intentionally love people. I wholeheartedly love people. People I've just met, I have some form of love for them. And a lot of people don't have that. And I didn't realize that until I got older. And I was like, okay, everybody doesn't have that. Like, that was weird to me to even see that there are people who are just stone faced with certain things, where it's like, this is something that I could see somebody get into a car accident on the freeway, don't know who this person is, but I internally feel some type of, I hope this person is
Sorrow.
okay. I hope no one got injured. That I hope there was no kids in the car. And I really feel that. There are some people who will see that and feel nothing. And not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. Some people just don't have that. But I've always been told that, like, you got something different. You have real empathy for people. You really love people without, meaning to love them. And I never really got that until I really started, dealing with other people. And I'm like, wow, there are people who don't really just have love for another person. Like, just love. You don't have
Yep.
to be in love. You don't have to be intimate with this person. You could literally just love a person with no strings attached.
None
And
at all.
that's why when I see a lot of women who come to our page or come to our meetings and things, and they're like, maybe have misbelief about things, like, well, what could you really do for us? And it's like, there are some real wholehearted people, as us four, who really truly love all of you ladies. And it's not because we want anything from it. We literally just want to make a difference in other people's lives. And I think that's what the confusion is there's those people who were raised on survival, and they hear us talking and they're like,
who are these chicks talking about they love me? Y'all don't know me. You know what I mean? Like, why would you love me? And it's like, because I do.
Well, and two, you get to a space and a place to where you understand of exactly just how much love you have to give.
Yes.
I am in a place and a space to where I realize I have so much love to give. And it's not because I want to reciprocate it back from any particular people or person or thing. It's I have an abundance of it.
Mm.
And I just want to love. I want to be able to make a mark.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to make a difference. I want to leave an impression on as many people as I possibly can in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that is my mission. Um, I have an abundance of it, and I just want to be able to share it.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
agree with that.
And that's exactly what it is. It's about. And I was gonna go back to what Davina was saying about a person that just lets you know in the door, like, nope, not. A lot of women say that, like on prayer line when we first got on there, they're like, "Oh, I don't mess with women. Women are so catty. This is why I don't deal with women." And this is what changed my perspective a little bit about giving up on people because we were put here to not give up, right?
Well, you heard what I said though,
and,
V.
and
Like
so many of those women would say that, like, I don't deal with women. Women are messy. I don't like. And now they are some of the closest women that are in our group that probably have never even touched hands with one another, but only heard each other's voices. And it just goes to show that love conquers all. Point
it
blank period.
does.
It never fails. Nobody was like, well, girl, I don't mess with females neither. You know, it's more like I can relate, right? Instead of using it as something to fight each other against, it was more so like, yeah, me too. I can relate. I really didn't mess with females like that either, but this is different. And that
Mhm.
healed people, and it is still healing people.
It
And
does.
going back to what Miss Devon said about survive, I was raised in survival mode, and it took for me to learn the love of God, to experience a love that I had never felt before, and that's what in turn made me want to start loving other people. It wasn't actually love of a person that was like, man, this make it was like God loves me regardless of what I do, who I'm with, what I say, what I wear. He never turns his back on me. He doesn't hold it against me. And I was like, why can't I be that for other people? Because once I learned that and I felt that love, I wanted to share with other people. Because I understand it's so many of us have been broken for so long and by people that say that they love us, right? The
Hmm.
hurt first came from inside the household. I don't know for everybody else, but for most people, your first hurt came from people that you grew up
Inside
with,
your immediate.
yeah, that
Yep.
said that they loved you. So you grew up with this hard exterior. Now I'm just surviving. If I can't trust these people I'm in the same roof with, I know I can't trust these people on the streets. But when I learned there's a love that no one can match, I wanted people just to understand, like, hey, I may fail you sometimes, right? But God won't, and tap in, and try to be an example of that. So I just want to push that, like love, man, it's amazing because it's not conditional. It's so unconditional. And no matter how you feel, no matter what you think about somebody, you're gonna still have their love, like you say we have. We don't prejudge people. We just want you to come into the space so you can be loved on, right?
Hmm.
So
And
yeah,
you heard what I said, V. Like, I still love this man. Like,
yeah,
even though he gave me an option and a choice, he told me from jump what it is that he had to offer, but I had to realize and recognize what was my mission.
yeah.
Like, I'm not ready for a relationship. I'm not asking you for anything. Like, what did you think that I was asking you for? I just simply want to love on you. Like, and if you can allow me to do that, to get off my chest of what I want and needed to do, because I feel like we crossed paths for a reason. Like, and when my season is up with you, I'm gonna know, because God's gonna start then pulling us and pushing us apart. And I'm gonna start not feeling the way that I feel so strongly. But right now I have this very strong feeling. So I'm gonna give you all of whatever I got. And it is what it is. Um, I don't know if it is a learning experience for him or if it's a learning experience for me. But during this process, I'm also going to learn something, because while I'm loving on you, I'm learning how I can be patient.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning how to love myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm just enjoying some space. And the fruits of all of that pays off for me in a whole bunch of different ways. Like, I'm not asking anybody for anything. I have no expectations. And this is the first time that I've been in a space like this to where I've not had any expectations. I'm just going to fully fledged be who I am, 100%. And if it doesn't work out for you, it doesn't. Like, you can cut the cord at any time. You already told me from jump what you had to offer, and it was zero. So, and I ain't asking you for anything. So,
That might be your mission, is to show him what real
how
unconditional love is.
what love even is?
Yeah. But know that you need to have your own
Limit.
boundaries. Yeah. So you don't.
That's why I said, like, that's why I said, when you have to listen to the universe too, like,
Mm-hmm.
when things start to change, like, God gonna start creating whatever. When my
Oh,
time is up, he gonna start making those, then we gonna start separating and separating. Pretty soon, boom, I'm gonna be on my own way, or he gonna bring a distraction into my life.
mm-hmm.
A
No,
whole new shiny penny gonna come walking past.
it ain't gonna be a penny. It's gonna be a shiny dime.
It's gonna be a silver dollar.
Hey, it's gonna be a something, and it's gonna catch my eye.
It's gonna be like, Ray, who? Oh no.
So my mission with loving is not trying to see what it is that I can receive from other people, because I know God is preparing me for something,
Yes.
and I have to understand that. And that was a really hard pill to swallow, because I desperately, in the whole moment of wanting to love on people, is I also wanted to be loved at that time.
Absolutely.
And I had to realize I have an abundance of people that love me. Just because they don't go to sleep in my bed and wake up in the morning with me doesn't mean that I ain't got nobody that loves me. Um, and so when I think about what defines love, I have 4 children. They might not love me today, but they're gonna love me tomorrow.
Mhm.
They're gonna love me on
They
their
love you every day. They might be angry with you for no apparent reason.
they gonna love me on their times.
For no apparent reason is what I said, but they still love you.
They gonna love me on their
Segue.
times, and I'm gonna be okay with that. I'm gonna take what I can get from them, because they my children, and those is the monsters I created.
Mm-hmm.
From my sisters and my brother, and my friends. Yeah, I have a handful of people that I can say that are in those places that love me, and so they show up, and that's what tells me that they love me, is because they still show up. Y'all still show up, and so I know that I have love out there, and it might not be the love that I want or that I envisioned, um, or who it is that I want it from right now, today. But I'm gonna be patient, because that's what God is working on me with, is my patience. I have been a very impatient person my entire being, and He's screaming patience with me. I gotta wait on everything now that I want, and I'm like, dang, why? Thought I was the princess.
It's time and not yours, Davina.
I
Not
want
yours.
to say hi to all the ladies or anyone who is tuned in and
Yes,
watching. Hello. We
Rita,
love y'all.
Santra.
Yes. Hello.
yes, yes, yes.
Before we go to, we do also want to talk about the second annual sisterhood brunch that is coming up. Just so if someone did not see a million and one posts that we've been posting, we'll talk about it again. It will be orange this year.
Yes.
So if you do need a ticket still, you can go on Eventbrite. It is on October 12th.
Well,
October 12th. Any shade of orange. Orange is the color. Um, Tickets. Are we still? Do we still have space for vendors? I think we have a few spaces
I
left,
thought
right?
we had two.
uh, 2 left.
Okay.
We have
So yeah,
left.
anyone who still wants to be a vendor, we still have 2 spaces left. If you are a member of Women Empowered, it will be $50 for the vendor slot. If you are not a member, which means you are not on any of our pages, not active with us, it would be a $75 charge, but you are still welcome to be a vendor at the event. So please reach out to us. You can reach out if you have questions at our email at womenempoweredmn@gmail.com, and let us know if you have any specific questions, you need details before, you know, purchasing your ticket or sending over payment for the vendor slot. So,
And
um,
the tickets are $40, and they do include food and the brunch and everything. And vendors will be there selling stuff, and it's just gonna be really good and really powerful. Last year's was absolutely amazing, and I'm 1,000% sure that this one is gonna be even better because it's our second time around. So
It
please join
is.
yes.
your friends with you, please.
Yes, excited about that. And if there is someone that you want to bring, bring her with you. Even if she doesn't know who we are, that'll be the first time she can get to know who we are. We are open to that, always open to that. So please, please, please get your tickets. You don't want to miss out. The next one will not be until next year. So
Get in while
come
you
to,
fit in.
yep, get in where you fit in. Any shade of orange, put your
Orange,
orange on.
orange is the new black.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good tagline. I gotta do something with that.
I like that.
Yes.
How's
Um,
orange, but orange is the new black.
orange is the new black.
I'm gonna
That's
have
good.
to
Um,
make myself
anything else I
a
forgot?
mugshot
No.
poster. I said I'm gonna have to make myself a mugshot poster.
Uh, as long as you smiling.
That's it.
Anything
My orange
I forgot
shirt.
about the event?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, it'll be good. It's gonna be good this year. Y'all, if y'all didn't come last year, come
You're
this
gonna want to come
year.
here.
It's amazing. We have an amazing time together. We're together for a couple hours,
3 to 6.
sisterhood. Yeah, and we're just sharing stories and love, and it's always a good thing. So, let us know if you have questions before you purchase a ticket. You might have questions about something. Reach out to us. Let us know. We'll answer your questions. But we're at time, and I think we had a good conversation today about real love. If
Yes.
there's anything anybody feels they need to comment after watching this, go ahead, comment what you think real love is. Have you ever experienced real love? If you have not, do you know what to look for?
Oh,
It's
I
a
like
good
that.
one.
We
Yeah.
should do that.
Yeah.
And why do you want love?
Ooh.
Like what is your intentions with it?
I think we should
Mm.
have a podcast about love.
Yeah. Yeah. We got to have another one on that. We
Mhm.
got to circle back on that one. That was a good
Yeah,
one.
I like it.
All right. But yes, it's been great. Thank you for tuning in. We love y'all. If you're watching the recording later, we appreciate you watching the recording. But we will let y'all go. Thank you. See y'all next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.